Welcome to the Expat Edge with Marcus and Matt, where we answer your questions about becoming an expat to help you thrive abroad.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to this episode of the Expat Edge. We're back with my brother, Andrew, from Expatriant. So today we want to talk about the standard of living for expats and digital nomads in Croatia. So Andrew, you live in Croatia currently in Zagreb. What is the general standard of living, or how much money do you need to kind of live decently well in Croatia?
Yeah, I guess we can start with an overall dollar amount. I would say if you're single and you would like to go out on the weekends, have, a few meals a week out at a restaurant, I would recommend somewhere around 3,000 euros. Obviously, you can do it cheaper based on your preferences. Like if you don't want to eat out or you'd rather live further from the city, there's definitely ways you can do it cheaper.
Okay. So how much is an apartment? I imagine that's probably the largest expense for anyone. I don't know. You probably have a pretty big apartment, but some expats, if they're single, they probably just want, like a 2-room or 1-bedroom, as we would call it in the US. How much is that in Zagreb?
Mm-hmm. So a 1-bedroom apartment. So there's a couple districts. There's basically the west, the lower, the east, and then I guess up on the hill. I don't remember what the name is. I guess upper part of town. And those districts, you can probably get a 1-bedroom anywhere from 450 euro up to 700 euro. And
okay.
If you're on the lower end, it's going to be lower quality. It might be a lower building. An older building. And there's something you need to look out for. In the older buildings, there was a big earthquake here in 2020, and a lot of them have a bad, structural integrity rating. So that's something I would recommend you avoid. Look for a newer building.
How can you find out about that?
Each building has a sticker, or it's required to. Another thing I suggest is use a realtor. Don't go through a classified section, because they could easily throw you for a loop and rent you something that's got a red warning label. But any qualified agent will be able to tell you, and that's what I did.
Got it. And how much does an agent cost?
It's usually about 1 month plus VAT, but it varies. Some charge less, and it depends on who's leasing or whose apartment it is wants to rent it.
Got it. Can you do it in a way so the person who's renting the apartment out has to pay that, or is it always the person who's renting the apartment?
I'm sure that you probably could if you negotiate that, but it's really standard practice to pay 1 month plus VAT to the agent if you're the one renting. Okay.
And your apartment, I think you told me it's a 3-room or 2-bedroom, right?
Yep, 2-bedroom. And it's about a 2-minute drive from the center, or 15-minute walk, or 10 minutes on public transit.
Okay. And how much does that cost?
1,000 euro.
Okay.
And it comes with a parking space.
Oh, well, that's pretty good. Most places. Is it a covered parking space or just in a yard?
Yeah, it's in an underground parking garage. But there's a thing about parking also. You can't legally park in the city. You'll have to buy another pass to be able to park.
Okay.
And it's, I believe my agent said, 200 euro a year.
Okay. I was like, holy crap. That's more expensive than London. Got it. Okay. All right. What about other costs? I mean, you mentioned eating out in the beginning. Is it expensive to eat out in Zagreb compared to Ukraine, where you used to live?
Yeah, in Ukraine, it's definitely cheaper. But if you go to a high-end restaurant in Ukraine compared to maybe a mid-range restaurant here, it'll be maybe 15 euro if you want a salad or a starter plus a main dish and a beer.
Okay. Well, that's pretty cheap.
Typically, a beer is anywhere from,
How much is a beer?
A beer is 2 to 2.5 euro at most places.
Got it. And is it usually just Croatian beer, or do they have international stuff?
They have imported beers, but that'll also be a bit more expensive. So that's maybe closer to 3 to 4 euro. Okay.
Well, that's cheaper than Ukraine, isn't it?
I guess it depends what you consider imported. In Ukraine, Hogarden is imported, and it's 2 euro.
No, but it's made in Ukraine.
I guess, but on the menus, they usually consider it imported.
Okay. Well, yeah, they kind of did the same thing in Russia.
If you get some craft beer, like, I don't know, something from Belgium, then maybe it'll be €3-4.
Okay. Got it. Okay. So it's not terribly expensive. And groceries, you were telling me, also are a little bit more expensive than Ukraine. But how does that compare to the US?
Definitely significantly cheaper than the US, especially if you get things in season. Right now, it's cherries that are local to here. It's $5 per kilogram, which I guess is like
$2.50
per pound or something like that. A little bit more, actually, but yeah.
Cherries here are like $7 or $8 a pound.
Yeah, I don't know. They're in season right now, so it's pretty cheap. I think they go up later.
Right. Okay. What other kinds of expenses do you have in Croatia? Obviously, in the US, you've got all kinds of insurance costs and this, that, and the other thing. What about that type of stuff? Do you need insurance, do you think, to live in Croatia?
Yep. So there's a stipulation if you get the digital nomad visa, you have to also apply for and pay for the public insurance program. And it's I think, €50 per month. I haven't gotten the first bill yet, so I'm not totally sure.
Got it.
I believe it's €50 a month.
Okay.
Other than that, if you want to go to the dentist, it's about maybe $60 for a cleaning and an exam.
Okay.
And same with other general physician appointments as well.
Got it. Okay. So that's similar to Russia and Ukraine in terms of ease. You just kind of call up and make an appointment. You don't have to go through insurances and whatnot. Okay. What other costs do you think are there if you're going to be in Zagreb?
If we go back to apartments, I haven't moved in yet, but I was told all the utilities will be around €150 extra, and that's gas, water, and electric.
Okay.
Aside from that, there'll be internet, and that's also fairly cheap. $10-15, and it'll be 500 megabits a second.
Mm-hmm.
My phone plan is also $12 a month. That gets me 6 gigabytes of 5G data, and I think it's 2,000 minutes, but I'm not sure. I don't use it.
Got it. Okay, so everything's pretty cheap, just like Ukraine. So really, how much more expensive would you say it is than living in Ukraine?
Compared to Ukraine, I mean, it depends on how you want to live. If you want to live in the center of Kyiv, for example, it's honestly comparable aside from public transportation.
Right.
Public transportation here, it's maybe 85 cents per trip. In Kyiv, it's about 40 cents.
Right.
Utilities are also cheaper in Ukraine, and a couple other services. But other than that, overall, I'd say it's about maybe 20% more expensive here.
Okay. And how would you say it compares to the US?
In terms of cost of living, yeah, around half. Well, you tell me, how much would a 2-bedroom apartment cost where you live in Texas?
Probably just a little bit more, but Texas is one of the cheapest places. But food prices and whatnot are probably double, easy, maybe even triple, depending on what you're buying. I imagine that most of the European food products are pretty cheap because there's no tariffs within the European Union.
Cheeses that are made in Italy, it's $15 a kilogram, maybe.
Yeah, that's dirt cheap. It's like $20 a pound for Parmesan cheese at Costco. So, yeah, okay. Well, that's pretty cool. So, would you say the overall standard of living, if you've got a digital nomad salary or passive income, is pretty good in Croatia?
Yeah, in terms of the standard of living, quality of the construction, medical care services, I think it's probably higher than in Ukraine, but it also comes down to what you're willing to spend money on and what you're not. So overall, European quality of life, Western quality of life.
Would you say the quality of life is more like, Western Europe than it is like Ukraine, or is it more similar to Ukraine?
I would say it's about a mixture. There's a lot of qualities that are similar to Italy, let's say.
Yeah.
But also the mentality of Slavic people. So it's kind of a mix between the two.
Got it. Okay. So it's kind of a halfway ground between Western Europe and Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Exactly. Yep.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming on again. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you've got questions about Croatia, let us know in the comments below. We're happy to do more videos. See you next time. This was the Expat Edge with Matt and Marcus. We hope you enjoyed the video. Visit theexpatedge.com for even more content that will help you thrive abroad. You can submit your ideas for video topics and sign up for free at theexpatedge.com. See you there.